Palm handhelds were personal digital assistants that ran the Palm OS. On April 28, 2010, it was announced that Hewlett-Packard would acquire Palm for around $1.2 billion. Although HP kept the Palm brand initially, all new PDA devices announced at press announcement on February 9, 2011, were branded as HP devices, not as Palm devices. TCL Corporation announced in January 2015 that it had acquired Palm's intellectual property from HP at the end of 2014, announcing plans to restart the company, with crowdfunding being a key element in the development of new Palm smartphones. History. Initial development. Pilot was the name of the first generation of personal digital assistants manufactured by Palm Computing in 1996. The inventors of the Pilot were Jeff Hawkins, Donna Dubinsky, and Ed Colligan, who founded Palm Computing in 1992. The original purpose of this company was to create handwriting recognition software, named Palm Print, and personal information management software, named Palm Organizer, for the Pen GEOS-based Zoomer devices. Their research convinced them, however, they could create better hardware as well. Before starting development of the Pilot, Hawkins said he carried a block of wood, the size of the potential Pilot, in his pocket for a week. Palm was widely perceived to have benefited from the notable if ill-fated earlier attempts to create a popular handheld computing platform by Go Corporation, Tandy, and Apple Computer. The prototype for the first Palm-connected organizer was called Palm Taxi. The first two generations of PDAs from Palm were referred to as Palm Pilots. Due to a trademark infringement lawsuit brought by the Pilot Pen Corporation, since 1998 handheld devices from Palm have been known as Palm-connected organizers, or more commonly as Palms. The first Palms, the Pilot 1000 and Pilot 5000, had no infrared port, backlight, or flash memory, but did have a serial communications port. Their RAM size was 128 kilobytes and 512 kilobytes respectively, and they used version 1 of Palm OS. Later, it became possible to upgrade the Pilot 1000 or 5000 internals to up to 1 megabyte of internal RAM. This was done with the purchase of an upgrade module sold by Palm, and the replacement of some internal hardware components. Originally, it was conceived that all Palm PDAs were to be hardware upgradable to an extent, but ultimately, this capability gave way to external memory slots and firmware upgradable flash memory after the Palm 3 series. Subsequent generations. The next couple of Palms, the Palm Pilot Personal and Palm Pilot Professional, had backlit screens, but no infrared port or flash memory. Their RAM size was 512 kilobytes and 1024 kilobytes respectively. They used version 2 of the Palm OS. Palm 3, and all the following Palms, did not have the word Pilot in their name due to the previously mentioned trademark dispute. The Palm 3 had an IR port, backlight, and flash memory. The latter allowed the user to upgrade Palm OS, or, with some external applications, to store programs or data in flash memory. It ran on 2 standard AAA batteries. It was able to retain enough energy for €15 minutes to prevent data loss during battery replacement. It had 2 megabytes of memory, large at the time, and used Palm OS 3. Meanwhile, with Palm Computing now a subsidiary of 3Com, the founders felt they had insufficient control over the development of the Palm product. As a result, they left 3Com and founded Handspring in June 1998. When they left Palm, Hawkins secured a license for the Palm OS for Handspring, and the company became the first Palm OS licensee. Handspring went on to produce the Handspring Visor, a clone of the Palm handhelds that included a hardware expansion slot and used slightly modified software. The next versions of Palm used Palm OS 3.1. These included Palm iX with 4 megabytes of memory, Palm IE without flash memory or hardware expansion slot, Palm V with 2 megabytes of memory, and Palm VX with 8 megabytes of memory. Palm 7 had wireless connection to some Internet services, but this connection worked only within the USA. It used Palm OS 3.2. Palm iX was the first Palm handheld with a color screen. It used Palm OS 3.5, which provided extensive tools for writing color applications. Some of these newer handhelds, for example Palm V, used internal rechargeable batteries. Later this feature became standard for all Palms. Palm handhelds up to 2002 contained Motorola Dragon Ball processors, part of the Motorola 68000 family. Starting with the Palm Tungsten, the platform transitioned to the ARM architecture with Texas Instruments, Samsung, and Intel as suppliers. As ARM has previously been used in the Apple Newton series, the platform had significant investment in mobile and low-power applications. Recent history Palm Computing was spun off into its own company in 2000. Handspring later merged with Palm to form Palm One in 2003 when Palm Incorporated split into companies based upon selling hardware and the software. In 2005, Palm One acquired the full rights to the Palm name by purchasing the shared rights Palm Source owned and changed names back to Palm again. Palm Source was acquired by Access Systems in 2005, which subsequently sold the Palm OS source code back to Palm, Incorporated in December 2006. Palm handhelds continued to advance, including the ability to access computer hard drives via USB cables, and began to merge with smartphones. The Treo 700W was one of the later offerings that combined a Palm handheld with mobile phone, email, MMS, and instant messaging technology. It was also the first Palm-branded device to use Windows Mobile instead of Palm OS. It became widely expected that Palm handhelds as a PDA-only device would disappear as multifunction handhelds like the Treo 650 declined in price. Multifunction handhelds generally include a wider range of abilities traditionally found in separate devices, for example, an MP3 player, mobile phone, camera, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. The Treo 650 Plus was a series of smartphones that included a camera, MP3 player, Bluetooth, and a mobile phone. The ZIRE 71 and 72 series also had these additional features. In 2007, Palm released the Palm Centro, a smartphone running Palm OS. Different in overall appearance from the Treo, it was most notably thinner. The Centro was a somewhat successful smartphone, combining many features with a decreased price. Palm later released the Palm Treo 500V, a device similar to the Centro which ran Windows Mobile 6.0. Palm's focus following the ZIRE and Tungsten PDA lines shifted exclusively to smartphones, where the Palm OS operating system as used on the Treos was becoming dated with both the Palm OS and the Windows Mobile versions making minor impact in market share when compared to those of IBM and Apple. In order to try to change this trend, Palm had been working on a new web-based operating system which was an embedded Linux operating system that hosts a custom user interface built on standard web browser technology and offered genuine multitasking capability through a card-based concept where each application ran as a card and the use of gestures to navigate between cards and perform actions. This platform won much respect from its peers but was compromised by some of the shortcuts taken in the hardware for the initial web OS, and indeed Palm's final device offerings, the Palm Pre, and Palm XE. Palm released improved versions of both the Pre and XE as the Pre Plus and XE Plus, which contained improved memory capacity or processor updates but did not significantly address some of the limitations of the hardware in comparison to other smartphones on the market at the time. With the acquisition of Palm by HP, your next device to market was the Pre 2, which did address the screen and processor issues. This was followed in 2011 by the HP Via and the HP Pre 3, the former being a compact design and the latter showing the hardware potential to compete in the demanding smartphone market, that had expanded to include Google's Android, before Leo Apotheker, then HP CEO, abruptly pulled the plug on WebOS in August 2011, which caused a dip in HP share value. Apotheker was ousted from Hewlett-Packard later in the year, due in part to criticisms behind his handling of WebOS. His successor, Meg Whitman, reaffirmed HP's decision to discontinue the sale and production of WebOS hardware devices. Palm's legacy was later maintained by Whitman's decision to support WebOS on the software side by taking steps toward open sourcing WebOS and opening it to hardware partners. List of Pda models. Handhelds Palm Taxi, also known as Palm Pilot, Handspring Visor, Palm Pilot Personal and Palm Pilot Professional, Z22, ZIRE72, Tungsten E2, TX, Palm TXML Handheld Bundle Pack. Treo Smartphones Treo Pro, Treo 800W, Treo 755P, Treo 750V, Treo 750, Treo 700P, Treo 700W, Treo 700WX, Treo 680, Treo 650, Treo 500, Treo 500V. Centro Smartphones Palm Centro. Web OS Smartphones Palm Pre, Palm Pxi, Palm Pre Plus, Palm Pxi Plus, Palm Pre 2 horsepower VIA, HP Pre 3. Discontinued models See also, Palm OS Euro includes discussion and links to Palm OS Euro compatible and Palm OS, Web OS, list of Palm OS devices, Palm Source, Incorporated. Palm, Incorporated. References. External links, palm.com.